Do you, like most students, find it challenging to listen to the teacher, take notes, and actually learn something all at the same time? In this video, I will give you strategies that will make it easier and will actually save you lots of time in the long run. So, stay tuned to find out how to learn more from lectures. How does one go about learning to play the piano, to figure skate, to paint, or anything else? They take lessons from a teacher, and in between lessons, they practice what they were taught. Learning academic subjects should be exactly the same. However, if you were not able to learn what the teacher taught, then practicing will be very hard, and hence learning will take a lot more time. To prevent this, I recommend the PARSE method. PARSE stands for prepare, attend, review, study, and evaluate. Let's now look at how to do each of these steps. First, we have prepare. This is to get your brain ready to learn the new content. Learning is like building a skyscraper. You need to have a firm foundation to build upon. When you have a strong foundation, it is easier to build new levels. What happens when you try to add more levels when you don't have a firm foundation? It collapses. So, the goal of preparing is to ensure that you have a strong foundation. There are two main steps to do this. First, review any prerequisite material. Bring to mind concepts that will be built upon and make sure you know the tools that will be used. Second, try to learn some of the content before class. If you can learn even a tiny bit, maybe a definition, a couple of facts, or a procedure before class, then your brain won't be so overloaded with new information during class. How to prepare depends on many factors. If your instructor has assigned any readings or to watch a video, etc., then definitely do that. Otherwise, preparing often involves reading the previous lecture's notes and trying to make sure that you understand them. Also, try to memorize any facts that you will need in the upcoming lecture. Wait! How can you know which facts you are going to need? By reading or even just skimming ahead in the textbook or course materials. Some students say they don't have time to prepare for lectures. However, by preparing, you will save yourself tons of time later. In particular, you will learn more from lectures, and so you won't have to spend so much time later trying to learn the content on your own. After preparing is attend. Now that your brain is prepared, you will find it easier to be an active participant in class. You should engage in class activities, ask and answer questions, and most importantly, you should try to deeply process the information. Additionally, if there was something you didn't understand in your preparation, then during class you can pay extra close attention to that part and ask questions as necessary. Not only will this help you learn more from your lectures, but it is a great feeling when you understand everything the teacher is saying. What about note-taking? Whether you should take notes or not depends on a lot of factors. My most general advice is to take notes using the Cornell note-taking system, and to take notes using a pen, not on a computer. For more information on note-taking, see my video on note-taking, which will be linked to at the end and in the description below. After you have attended class, review. One of the most important parts of learning from lectures is taking time to figure out what you missed during the lecture and learning it. As soon as possible after every lecture, do a lecture brain dump. That is, close your notes and on a blank sheet of paper, write down everything you can remember from the lecture. Then compare what you wrote with the lecture notes. Carefully review and try to learn anything that you missed. Finally, to make sure you have learned most of the material, repeat this the next day. Next, we have study. The key here is to study regularly. I won't go deeply into study strategies here. For that, see my effective studying video linked to at the end. I recommend 1-hour study sessions 4 to 6 days per week for each course. The number of days will depend on how difficult the new material is and, of course, how busy you are with other things. How you will study will vary greatly course to course and even topic to topic. In general, you should study in the same way that you're going to be assessed. For example, if you're going to write an exam, then practice as if you were in an exam setting. If you're going to have an oral exam, then have conversations about the topics with your peers. Lastly, but definitely not least, we have evaluate. That is, test your knowledge and understanding of the content regularly. This can be done with brain dumps, by solving exercises from the textbook assigned by your instructor, etc., or with mock tests. You can do a mock test by yourself, but it is even better in a group. To do this, have each member of the group write 1 or 2 questions on a piece of paper, put all the questions together, and then poof, you have a mock test. Then, all of you write the mock test like a test. When finished, exchange the papers and mark them. That is, give each other constructive feedback. Of course, carefully review any content that you struggled with. The PARSE method will maximize how much you learn from lectures, whether the lectures are in person or online. It does this by getting your brain ready to learn, learning as much as you can during class, increasing how much you learned by looking over details you cannot remember from class, solidifying and strengthening your knowledge, and ensuring you are prepared for your assessments. I hope you have enjoyed this video and find the PARSE method as effective as I do. To learn more, watch these other informative videos. Thanks for watching!